mats. Awesome to the mats. Awesome.
Welcome to the stream, everybody. I don't know why I did that. Today we are having another stream. Team Survival. Sad Swats, Tragic Kingdom, Patriarch. I will have with me once again ALovelyTsundere. We will introduce them more appropriately shortly. In the meantime, though, let's go ahead and go over what's going on here for anyone who may be watching for the first time, be it live or on the channel of Tubes, somewhere you might be able to access. Not really sure where that will be yet. Long story short, Team Survival is a Killing Floor 2 tournament for players from the community like you that is sponsored and pretty much led by Flux. And the goal is to beat a certain map that is assigned and a certain boss that is assigned as well at the fastest time possible within the bracket. So there'll be 2 teams, 1 map, 1 boss. Both teams go at it, and if one team finishes faster, they win. If a team member dies during this process, you will have 30 seconds penalty added to timer. If the entire team wipes out, you'll have an additional 1 minute added to the timer. There are some other rules that come into play in case there are need to... I don't know what that thing was. In case there is a need to, due to potential for tying. I'm losing my mind here. But that's not really relevant. So that's basically long and short there. These streams will be continuing onwards next week. So look forward to those. I believe this might be the last one of the day. Flux, if you could confirm that for me, that would be fantastic. I'm not really sure. The team has already loaded in and they're pretty much ready to go. So let's go ahead and get started by introducing my co-commentator, ALovelyTsundere. Hello there.
Hello, how's it going? That was a beautiful intro.
Thank you very much. We're gonna be playing on Tragic Kingdom. Any thoughts about that while I start fiddling with things in the background? Oh, also just a quick mention, this will be the last match of the day, so extreme hype. Joking.
Oh, hype all the way. I got a few comments about this map. It's a very weird map, kind of similar to the last map that we saw, that we streamed, was a shopping center. There's not too many great spots to hold. There's a lot of places where Zeds can pour in, and Swats has been on point recently in most of their matches. If anybody has not seen them play, I definitely suggest you go back and watch a couple of those. It's been excellent so far, and I'm really excited to see how they're going to handle this one in particular.
For sure, I am definitely excited. I feel like I've potentially streamed most, if not all, of Swats matches so far, so I feel like I have a certain connection to them, verging on bias, but not quite there yet. Go ahead and switch the screen over to the game. Just real quickly, I forgot to be doing this on some prior ones, but whenever we're making use of a community server, I like to quickly shout them out. And this one we will be using, and we're using in the previous stream, is House of Dragonfly, which is hosted by Dragonfly. So thank you very much, Dragonfly, for allowing us to make use of their server and helping throughout this whole process, changing passwords, all this fun jazz. It's just it's a lot of work. It's not much. It might look like, you just click a few buttons, but you got to take the time out of your day, and if there's an issue, troubleshooting, they're there, they're helping us out, so big thank you to them. I'm gonna go ahead and let the team know that we are now focused on here. And let them know that we're ready for them to go at their leisure. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and turn on my controller, because I will be using a controller in order to hopefully alleviate any potential for motion sickness. If there's any audio issues, please let us know. I'm pretty sure the in-game audio isn't muted, but I'll go ahead and double check that real fast. I do that sometimes. Yeah, it looks good. Okay. And they are asking if they're good to go. They are most certainly good to go. In the meantime, I'll take a few more seconds here to describe what you may be looking at on the screen. On the right-hand side, we have the Discord overlay, which is highlighting who is talking at what time, so that's easier for you to understand what's going on. At the bottom half, we have... Oh, let's see. I did do all chat. I did. I'm sorry. Stream is on. I don't understand how that's team chat versus all chat. I'm still... Ugh. Fair enough. I blame Tripwire. It's not my fault. All right, let's see here.
Anything that goes wrong, you always do that. It's like KF2 is known to have a couple of glitches here and there.
Features.
To say the least.
They're features.
Yeah, features.
In it, non-intuitive, but it's a
KF2.
Mm-hmm. All right, so the timer at the top of the screen has turned on. This timer is independent of the main game timer, which you might normally see here, which counts the lobby. It also will not penalize the players for triggering Z time, and it will actually slow down, as you can see at this very moment. How absolutely assistive. Thank you, players, for having done that. At the bottom half of the screen, we have a customized spectator overlay, which shows the currently viewed player, as well as several pieces of information a little lower down. The top bar, which is blue, that you can see on the command of Mr. Physiology, is the armor. The next bar under would be their health. And the final bar that is white and yellow is their ammunition, with the yellow portion of the bar being the primary, and the white being the 9mm secondary. It also has information such as kills, assists, and dosh. And here's a quick screen view of the main overlay, just in case you want that. We're on the first wave, 123 Zeds remaining, 38 seconds in. Let's just get into the nitty-gritty. Tragic Kingdom, like you're mentioning, interesting map, interesting places. There's a lot of opportunity for speeding up the movement. I believe the previous players were actually underneath the roller coaster on this map, so we already have a difference in holding positions. What are your thoughts on this position? Listen.
Ooh, wow. So far, I haven't seen the one that holding the roller coaster. That would definitely be interesting to see. So far, it's looking like pretty good. The Zeds actually, when they back up pretty closely, further into the area they're at, it looks like the Zeds are spawning almost right next to them, so that's pretty interesting. I wonder if they planned ahead of time to just kind of like shorten their line of sight, just to increase the Zed spawn time. And as I said before, there's kind of a weird map where the Zeds come in all locations, and there's not too many good places to hold, and they're making the best of it right now.
Certainly. Right now, since it is wave 1, I don't expect anything to go too hectic. I'm trying to locate some of those Zed spawns, but they've already finished clearing the wave. So I don't think I'm going to be able to see any. Maybe if they return here. Or if they even don't leave. Let's see. What are your thoughts? Wave skip? Wave not skip? Maybe we know what's going to happen.
Probably skip. They're very... Yes, that seems to be the meta right now, where everybody's skipping as much as possible. And they're been very comfortable in their early waves and later waves, with skipping when they can.
There's some
Again,
weapon
we're going
swaps.
to for swap strategy.
52 seconds skipped, quick as can be. Well, not necessarily. A little quicker could be possible. Hearing a lot of weapon switches. Very well done. I'm going to go ahead and take this opportunity to once again try to showcase just how good of a position this is in terms of where the spawns are coming from. So as we can see, at least on that side, they're just all popping right out of the roller coaster on the other side of that wooden wall, which tends to be a pretty common location, even if you are holding at the roller coaster. That allows for quite a bit of spawn to come pouring in right over this piece of plank here. You see them coming from right over there. On this side, not too much. It's a very clean line straight down. The Zeds aren't taking too long to arrive. On the other side, as I slowly slide in through all this beautiful Zed time, within the corridor itself, you have spawns coming in from several entrances. Let's see if we can spot them coming in. Not really sure where they're appearing from here, but they're coming in pretty fast. The lines are good, even if they take a bit of a moment to actually get within the tent in general. The moment they do arrive there, the players have positions that allow them to very quickly get a target on them, which pretty much negates that issue.
Main entryway is definitely be spooky as they come around the corner. They don't seem to have too many guys on it besides is this the commando? So they really have to watch that end.
For sure, for sure. Speaking of that positioning, let's go ahead and get an awareness for the viewers. So here we have the medic in the rear, usually the best place for a medic. We have
Yeah.
medic being played by Legend, Cabro, sorry, playing the gunslinger and holding the left-hand side here. Mr. Phaeology, the commander, on the right-hand side. Hazardous Monkey playing as Firebug, holding near the entrance / exit to the roller coaster, along with Van support. And Voodoo Doll, the Sharp, holding along with Mr. Phaeology, the commando, on that aforementioned side. So structurally speaking, in terms of positioning, the line of sight, pretty good. If they have to push out, they can. Their longer ranged perks are at that position that I previously mentioned, where they can see into the deep level of the circus area. Firebug is holding the other side where the majority of a wave spawn situation is happening, along with the support. So I think structurally, everything's very sound. In terms of the perks setup, it's pretty much the same perks we've seen, I think, potentially the entire tournament from these players. They all feel very comfortable in their roles, I think. And
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to not hold a smaller space, because that's usually been their MO for the past couple matches. So they're really using these line of sights to the best of their advantage.
there's weapon swapping going on mid-wave. They're been getting hit. Van is down, low health. Voodoo Doll is even lower. The medic grenade is coming out of some form. It's helping out, but it's not really doing enough when Voodoo Doll isn't actually standing inside of the health grenade. It's causing a bit of a problem. He goes inside. Now he's aware of its presence. His Phaeology's health is going back up. That was a bit risky right there. They were taking far too long with those weapon swaps. They thought they could hold the position, but they didn't realize just how fast the Zeds are capable of spawning in this area. So even though it's a bit wider, it's not really easier, as you were trying to mention just a moment ago.
Yes, and that's only going to get worse as the waves go on. The weapon swapping is probably not going to be like as much of a deal, because you're going to have to go trader eventually. But this open area and these tight corners could come back to bite them.
Definitely, definitely. They might have to commit a little bit more time from their usual trader skips to actually delivering the weapons to one another. Unlike in other locations where if there was a bit more time before the Zeds spawn and actually reach you, that's just not really going to work out here. So it's either going to have to be going to the trader itself with some preemptive movement, or sacrifice a little bit more time during the trade wave instead of getting those 52-second skips. We'll see how they modify their plans, or maybe they just missed a couple swings and they want to make sure that the right person picked up the right gun. So they could just say power on through ahead. Not really sure where that'll go.
If we notice here in the middle, actually sometimes you do see these, I guess, dead spawns where the Zeds will spawn in without any kind of entry animation or anything, just spawn straight away. And that's actually going to increase the Zed spawns coming through the middle. and make it faster for the waves.
We're talking about within the tent, right? Next to the large cages? Right?
Right in the middle.
Yep. It's basically, there's no need to do anything else. Line of sight isn't there. They're just going to pop right in.
Yep.
It's a
Good
place...
stuff.
Definitely. I think they picked an excellent location for speedy movement through the waves. Is there other locations that could have been potentially faster? Yes. Are there other locations that might give them as many options for escape? I'm not so sure. For the speed at which they're going here. I definitely played on this map a lot. I would like to say, just off the top of my head, maybe the Cave of Wonders, but I think it takes a bit of time for them to get through if you stand anywhere besides that overheaded rock zone, and at that point your line of sight is significantly impacted, so it's probably not really worth it for teams to be making use of. And they went ahead and actually are making use of the trader here. They're swapping still, but making some purchases. Money is going down. You can see it all ticking off.
I guess they're feeling the pressure, and the trader was so close, they might as well,
Yes, definitely. 31 seconds. Looks like someone purchased the... Potentially, has this monkey purchased the... No, what am I trying to say? The Vlad, and dropped it for the support. And they now have a good start on weapons, so I guess it's a great time to start looking at what weapons they have. Medic has the 401 assault rifle. It's a good choice at this time, I think. We have... Looks like 1911s, I want to say, on Cabro, the gunslinger.
Let me see. I think... Yeah, those are the 1911s, you're correct.
Alright, Mr. Philology, looks like they're making use of either the AK or the varmint. I can't tell, it's a bit dark in here. I'm thinking AK, though.
Okay.
That was the AK and the switch to the M16 underbarrel grenade launcher.
Oh, wow, that's been coming out in a lot of these matches, and it's very interesting to see. I guess he wants that extra damage around that corner, which is very understandable.
Definitely, and to be able to purchase all these weapons so soon, wave 3 to wave 4, that just shows how valuable it is to be skipping so many trader waves and just making use of not even purchasing a single bit of ammo. A great tactic.
I also want to make a note that I think I saw the support by extra cock and burn. They might come in handy later as the firebug runs out of ammo, but we will see.
Definitely. I didn't want to call it out because I didn't know if they were still hot swapping, but if that's the case, support is holding on to a Vlad and a cock and burn. Hazardous just hot swap between something, but I had no idea what it was.
So much swapping, it's really hard to keep track of. But
let's see
there's
here.
a speed run. We don't have speed run eyes. We only have spectator eyes.
It only goes so fast, but it's helping out a lot having more than just my pair of eyes here. You've already been catching on things that I wouldn't even have a hope of spotting. It looks like Voodoo Doll is making use of the 1858 revolver as well as probably a Winchester for the past matches right didn't go by. There it is, quickly flicking it out. And there is a Vlad nail gun as well in their pocket. There's some movements happening now. Reloading. Sending the M16, I believe it was, back into... And hold on. What's that noise? That's a flesh pound, full size with no head. Did Cabro take care of that all on his own? On their own. Correction. What happened there? I didn't even see it. I just turned around and there was just a dead body still walking around like without its head.
I guess the Z time came in, and that was that for the westbound. Those M1911s and the gunslinger with the rack 'em up perk effect, perk skill, can really output some damage. It's quite deadly. That's why the gunslinger is one of the best classes in the game, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinion.
For sure, for sure. Looks like the gunslinger also has some deagles hiding in their pockets. They're making use of the dropping one of each weapon on the side to help assist with the carrying and switching all the weapons there. Hopefully they don't end up losing one of their guns to a corner once again. That was unfortunate in the previous matches.
Yeah, are you happy to see me, or was that a deagle in your pocket?
Let's see here. Where were we? Trying to keep track of what these weapons are. We can only do this once, really, before we just lose everything again. Actually, I think that pretty much covered it. So that's as much as we know as to what weapons are on the field at this time. Wave 5 of 7, 9 minutes, 16 seconds. A mess of Zed heavy touches coming out. I think I need to go ahead and jump into someone's chat here, because otherwise we're not going to have time. Oh, wait, hold on. We got a couple Scrakes. Oh, destroyed. Look at that. Once again, the whole team calls it out. One freeze in. Everyone goes straight to their heads, track them down. It feels almost as if they're still shooting the little crusty bits that are exploding off as it falls to the ground before they turn right back around and carry on with what they're up to. Gonna go ahead and jump in. This feels like a good time. Feels like a good time.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
I know he's far right now.
Monkey, give me bud.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice kill, nice.
Strike.
Strike 10.
Yeah.
My shot's clear right now.
I'm taking ammo.
Idar.
Kill my EDR on my side. Thank you.
100 left.
Scrake on the side. I'm my second.
Start,
No
can you stun it,
promises.
Voodoo? Voodoo,
Voodoo,
stun it,
Voodoo.
stun it.
I don't have a line of sight.
Okay, it's okay.
Okay.
Starting. Weak.
He's dead. He's...
Nice.
Yeah, okay. Easy.
Easy. That's the soundbite of that round right there. Very precise, very clean descriptions. Clean cut. Call out the name, call out what you need. Give me the Vlad. Vlad hop swaps. There's another one right there. Calling out the Scrakes, calling out the flesh pounds, clarifying whether or not line of sight is ready to go. Just smooth communication throughout.
Yes, they're really on point with their teamwork, and it shows in the time and the amount of skill that's being displayed here.
Absolutely. Flux is saying that they look like they're about a minute and a half ahead as of maybe 2 minutes ago. And that loving the comms. We're going in 11 minutes pretty much on the dot, more or less there, in wave 5 of 7. They're going into that love cave I previously mentioned. Looks like they actually want to make use of the trader. Emma's
And
going...
you think they would fight each other and actually, do some loving, but no, they're buying guns. The last thing I would have suspected in a love cave, but when Zed's around, who knows what's going to happen.
They are still spreading the love, though. There was a lot of money moving around there, and it looks like pretty much everyone has fully maxed out their armor, their ammo. They still have a huge amount of economy left, especially being held by Legend and Hazardous Monkey. They are in a great position here. Scrake's coming in from the main area of the tent. I forget, what is it called? Big tent? The big top? Is it big top? So out of...
It's a big old circus tent.
Yeah, there's a word for it. There's a good old fashioned word for it. I don't remember. It's big something.
Emporium?
I want to say big top, but maybe chat knows. Point being, Scrake went bye. There you go. Why use big word when little few word do trick? Like that's I honestly a joke right there, but that seems to be the whole purpose of this team. Don't use heavy duty weapons. Clear communication. Just blow all the bullets into them at once instead of using your entire mag. That way the whole team doesn't have to suddenly end up reloading. Reloading, actually, you know what? That's a good thing. How about we pay attention to their reloading habits? I haven't really bothered to look at that, but it'd be interesting to see if they're calling out reloads at all, or if they're actively trying to hot reload. Personally, I always slap the reload button at any opportunity I have, but I'd be interested to see if maybe they wait until they get to those final bullets, especially on the gunslinger.
I just saw some money getting fed to the sharpshooter, so he's probably going to buy either at boss wave or pretty soon. They're definitely trying to get ready for the boss, and everybody knows sharpshooter is really good with the bosses. So,
what is that weapon that? I don't even know. It's so shiny, I can't tell. The support is making use of what looked like some sort of semi-automatic or fully automatic shotgun, but I couldn't tell which one it was. It didn't look like the HZ-12, but it's firing very quickly. I couldn't see if you can keep an eye on that.
I'll definitely keep an eye on it. That support really has a bunch of neon weapons, so
Makes it hard to tell.
kind of hard to tell with the arc times.
That quarter
It's all
pounder had no
cyber-
hope. Absolutely. You'll see. Come on, bring it out just for me, real quick. Hot top. Scrake comes in, all the bullets immediately into the head. Look at that. They saw where the bloat was and just tagged down a little bit to remove his head immediately after. Absolutely brutal.
Surprise, Scrake. not much of a surprise these days. Normally you come in, do a little more damage, but they're on point and they're not letting them come in. And the floor is just getting covered with gore. Beautiful, beautiful gore. That's KF2 for you.
And we have a flying gore fast and a couple bloats that spawn in very nearby. I'm sure they'll be very happy because of that. Mr. Biology hasn't actually noticed them yet. Definitely holding as far behind as possible. They don't really seem to be making a move on that area unless they absolutely know that it's the last couple Zeds so that they can maximize the output. It's a really smart move. You might be tempted to go across and just quickly wipe whatever's there, but you'd actually be slowing down your spawns incredibly because it could lead to them spawning further back in the tent. So very, very controlled. That was a pretty quick trader time. I didn't see how much they lost there, but the trader was once again right next to them, which is perfect when they're coming into wave 7. You might not even need to make any use of trader at all on the boss wave. I think we might be seeing one miss there. So I guess that'll be the prediction for this match. Will there be a skip on the boss trader? Also,
Flesh Pound down, 2 Scrakes coming in, and no, the 2 Scrakes outside and the Flesh Pounds that come in, and Quarter Pounds working their way on the left lane. Not gonna make it, I don't think, especially with that Z time. Oh, what? They're coming in actually. Now got me wrong.
once again, I know that I can guarantee that Voodoo Doll will go ahead and turn around and look at the big boys coming in while I'm tabbed out. So thank you to Voodoo Doll for always looking at the big boys.
He's also keeping that a railgun in the middle. I wonder exactly what the strat is for that. Probably just picking it up and keeping it down just so he can keep maintaining his weapons while not letting it despawn. They're doing pretty good. A third through the wave, and already dealt with, looks like, a Flesh Pound, 2 Quarter Pounds, and a couple of Scrakes.
Hearing a lot more of them spawning in right now, though, so we'll see where that goes. Another hot swap mid-fight. There's that crazy gun that keeps coming out. I don't know what it is, but it looks really cool neon.
I think it might be the AA-12.
Oh, here we go. So several. Oh my goodness, everything. I think that's double Flesh Pound, triple Flesh Pound. Actually, it was right in the back. A Scrake, a second Scrake coming in. This first double Flesh Pound and a Scrake were taken out with the ice grenades. The following Flesh Pound eliminated. 2 Quarter Pounders coming in on the rear. They're all coming in from pretty much the same side. The whole team is focusing on that side, which is allowing for some of the Zeds to pull in from the rear along the roller coaster side. However, it wasn't enough because the team was just so fast on those turnarounds and eliminations on those high value targets that they were able to push back the wave relatively easily, unlike during the earlier wave, because they have the tools necessary to make sure that they can regain control of the situation. That was so fast. I was by the time I registered what was happening and tried to start saying it, they were already on to the next one right there. Man, they make it difficult. They make it difficult. There's a Scrake right there, I think. Yep, body's keeled over. No chance. That was intense.
That Sharp is putting in the work. Those ice nades are on point, 100%. Like usually they don't work on the raging Flesh Pounds, but it seems like they know exactly when to time them. Say they catch them before the rage or after the rage, and they just really nail down with the ice grenades.
Absolutely. Looks like the next trader is somewhat close. I'm not quite sure where, but let's see if they go to it or not. Hazards looks like he's making a bit of a walk towards it. The whole team is pulling out a little, but it could be just because they want to take care of the Zeds as fast as possible. If only I knew where. It does look like they're moving on.
Back.
They're moving on a trader. If they stand there for a second, I see any money go down. Yep, alright, they've made use of the trader. They did not skip the trader boss wave. So we will be having that as
just as a reminder, the time to beat was 21:50, I believe, and they're well below that, and it's the boss wave. So unless they make a major mistake here, which is very possible with Patriarch because he's just one of those guys, let's see how it goes.
Absolutely. 17 minutes, 12 seconds, spawn in the Patriarch very close to them. They did make use of that trader. They will have everything they need. Immediately gets stumbled or otherwise blocked from movement. Some of the players are not actually having line of sight on him, which is making it difficult for them to actually get the damage out. However, He has come outside. They are now surrounding him. He's going to have difficulty getting away. I don't think he's going to be able to manage it. He might get an insta-heal out, though, if they touch him a few too many times. They got a freeze off, and he's down! Gibbed to pieces. His tentacle sent flying. Fantastically done. 17 minutes, 36 seconds. No deaths.
This is like a reverse hentai where the monster comes in and they just just destroy the monster instead.
Oh, and everyone's dancing. We managed to catch that at the end. Well done. Round of applause. I'm going to quickly go over this before I give you back to scoreboard because it's really hard. It goes really fast. We got Medicine Master Legan with 1,159 health, significantly less health than most matches. They still did take some hits there. Zed Slayer, Mr. Phalology, 487 kills. Hazardous Monkey, Enforcer, 133 assists. Destroyer Cabra with a mess of damage. Cabra also 19 large Zed kills. Excellently done right there. Cabra Moneybags as well. Wow, Cabra really doing a lot right there as the Gunslinger. Head Popper, Mr. Phalology, 463 headshots. Definitely what you want to see for a commando. It's extending Zed times, and Cabra managed to get that last hit on the boss, achieving Dominator. Excellently done. We're going to go ahead and wait for things to spawn through and for the next room to load in so that I don't crash out. And then we'll go ahead and take care of that boss skip prediction and hopefully have a conversation with the team since this will have been the last match of the day. Hopefully they'll be able to give us a little bit more of their time if they're willing and if we have enough questions for them. That was amazingly done. What do you think, Tsundere?
Oh, I can't imagine it doing like much better. The team was just on point the entire game. They're using the spawns to their advantage. The boss didn't stand a chance. I'm very anxious to see if anybody has any questions in chat for the team, the captains coming in, or for the team in general. Please put them down. We'd love to ask them, and this is a fantastic game.
Definitely, and if you're putting in questions, please at me on Twitch. It will make it much easier for me to find them over time. Otherwise, I might miss it, and if that's the case, I apologize. But yeah, please do at me with your question in the same message, please. All right, so we're loaded in. Ooh, I love this place. So this map I use all the time when I'm doing Zed Eternal Reborn testing. Good stuff. Let me go ahead and, for those of you who might not know, you ever see those screenshots on Zed Eternal Reborn that showcase the general makeup? This is actually the position I position myself and the angle. So if you want to recreate those, there you go. It's such a beautiful day for a steampunk event. That was brilliant. Okay, let me go ahead and tab on out. Prediction: skip boss trade round, yes or no? The outcome was no. Complete the prediction. Confirmed. That was a pretty even split right there. Only 10 points on offer, but people still like doing it. Let's see here. What do we got? GG's, Brutals. Well played, Sharpshooter, during that freezing event. Very well done. Very well done. 17 minutes, 36 seconds. I don't know if that's exactly right, but that sounds about right. Very low healing overall. Flux says, if you want, I can jump on in before the end stream and explain next week's matches. Absolutely, Flux. Come on in by all means. Please do. I'll go ahead and even message you to make it even more obvious that I want you. Here.
No, there's only two. No, come on in, yeah, please.
Looks like Hazardous Monkey and Mr. Phalology are going to be the ones joining us today. So we'll go ahead and wait for Flux to come in and then we'll start chit-chatting about things a bit. That was, once again, just impressive. I mean, I don't know. Again, I am streaming only so many of these matches, and I'm only watching so many of them. So please, no one take this to heart unnecessarily. But I'm watching the progress of Sad Swats because I've been streaming so many of their matches, and it's just, it feels like they're just getting a little bit better each time. It's getting more and more impressive for me. I mean, they're doing the same thing pretty much. There hasn't been too much of a change to their tactics. They're getting better at it, and I think that's something to note, that practice, you know, it's not that practice makes perfect, it's just that being able to consistently do it and communicate, as we heard while we jumped in on their chat, is very important. So if you're looking to reach these levels one day yourself in the future, I think the important things here are the adaptability, knowing your weapons, communicate, and just practice a bit, you know, but make sure you're having fun with it. Flux, seems like you've joined us. Hello, welcome.
Hello.
Let's see here. People are giving in some chats over here. Very, very good. It looks like we're pretty much ready to go with bringing in some of our team members. If you're good to go, unless there's something you want to say first.
No, not particularly. I'm excited to hear what they had to say about the entire match.
All right, bring them on in.
Was what?
Hello, Hazardous Monkey and Mr. Phalology.
Yeah.
Hello
Sorry, I
there.
didn't give you that forewarning that I usually do there.
Yeah.
That's
We're all
fine.
good though. Welcome to the stream. I think I might want to actually boost your audio a little bit. Hazard, could you just give me a little statement of
Yo,
intro?
what's up? How's it going?
Okay.
Love you.
Perfect. Mr. Phalology.
Hi there.
All right, we'll bring you up by 25. All right, that should be good. Trying to make everything a bit clearer. All right, welcome. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. This was the last match of the day. As you may be aware, Flux has gone ahead and joined us so that we can really get into the nitty-gritty of things. Let's go ahead and just start with the usual and open up to, well, what has become the usual. Your thoughts on the match. What were your best moments, your worst moments, or anything that really stood out to you? Go on. The floor is yours.
You know, there's a lot. That last match for us was kind of all over the place. We made some mistakes, but we
Mhm.
also like done stuff. From my personal perspective, I didn't get to see a ton from the other lanes, but we had many moments where it was just like filled on every side.
Yeah.
I think we had like a triple rage QP on my side, and I'm just a little firebug shooting them.
Mhm.
And everyone else, they were dealing with like 5 large at a time or something on one side. And
Our wave 7 in particular was like especially hectic in regards to most sides getting hit at the same time. It
Absolutely.
was, yeah.
we had this near catastrophic moment in the beginning. We threw our weapons around a little weird, and I think we were all down to like 20 HP or something.
Yeah, that was definitely something that stood out for us. Since you mentioned it, real quick question on that. What was that? Like you just said right now, did someone miss a weapon, or was it just you thought you had more time, weren't really ready for the speed at which the Zeds are coming in?
I think there's like a bunch of different factors. We did something that we usually don't do, and I think that threw one of us off. And then because of that, we had less time to distribute. And then on top of that, I think people just kind of stepped in the way on accident. I think there was a point in which I had an 1858 and no other weapon, and then K-Man had an SG or something. And then I finally got a Culk, and I think I was just shooting it in a circle to like save our lives. And then
Yeah.
I finally, like in the middle of me like at like 10 HP, I divvied up the weapons, and we
Yeah,
barely got it
everyone-
under control. But
Everyone was super low in that situation. I think it sparked because you were missing your Culk, and it was like relatively far into the beginning of the wave when Zeds actually started spawning, and it was like, okay, well they're actually here, and I'm the firebug. I need my gun. Hello, can someone give me my gun? It's
Yeah.
like,
Sorry. Gun is another castle. All right, so that's definitely not what it seemed like to at least me at that moment. I thought it was maybe just you weren't ready for the speed at which they were coming in, but it seems like there was a few more errors that we just didn't catch at that time due to just how fast you're constantly swapping those guns. It makes it so hard to tell. I keep telling you. I feel like I should enforce a requirement that you just give us a little cheat sheet of what weapons you're planning on buying, so I don't have to go digging around the whole time. But yeah. What else? What else is in your mind?
I was gonna say I felt this, even though our time was really good, and I feel like the thing with this match is it felt kind of hairy like the whole way, and it didn't feel like particularly. You know, we've had like practice matches that are just really smooth and everything is just going well, and this one wasn't like that. But I felt like something we did good is we would mess up like we did with that example where everyone almost died, but then we picked it up really well after. We would like recover from our mistake and we would get back into the flow of things and just be like ready to keep going and move past our mistake. I felt like we did that really well.
Definitely.
Now, would you blame that on your practice or like how the hairiness of the situation, or would you be like partially the map, or what would you say the biggest factor of what really caused the discomfort?
You know, I think with many of these situations, I think we all have a lot of experience. We've played these maps quite a lot. We've practiced them a little bit. This one we probably practiced the least of probably all of our previous matches. But you know, I've said it before. We just have so many moving parts, and when one little cog in the chain gets messed up, the whole thing seizes. And I think as the tourney has gone on, I think the biggest factor for us is just adapting to what everyone else is doing. We're trying to do mostly what we want, but you know, like making sure we're getting our systems down exactly as we want them, and you know, we only have a few days to practice doing that. So I think what you'll find from a lot of the teams, and especially ours, is just making sure we're staying on top of it as we inch towards that perfection that we all like desire. But I think as you try to tighten that up, the chance for failure just increases.
Mm-hmm.
Margin of error shortens up each time you try to commit to a very specific strategy for sure. But your strategy seems very open to recuperation in terms of the team layout and the composition. The sharpshooter is always able to give you that extra freeze, couple seconds. Firebug is able to push back the wave if there's a little bit too much pressure. There's, you know, your commando tends to have the M16 grenade launcher, so that gives you a little bit of extra oomph if you really need it to pop a hole through. So, although, as you're saying, it does seem like you're feeling that it's becoming a little harder to get that perfection. The base structure seems, at least from the viewer perspective, to be very well made and very open to continual improvement. I have a question here that I'm sorry I laughed out loud. How was Van's PC this game? Says Apathy Live.
You know, I didn't really ask too much, but I think I think it was probably 4 times as good at least from the last time.
So
but
16
he was only getting
frames.
5 frames.
Nice. Probably 16 frames.
I think unfortunately it still wasn't as great as we'd liked, but
Yeah.
Looks like Vans in chat says, don't want to talk about it. I gave my laptop a blankie, read it a bedtime story, and gave it head pats.
And it was still mad at him after all that.
Well, Flux, it looks like you have some questions. I mean, why don't you just ask them? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah, of course.
So, I got 2 questions for you, just in general. First one, out of all the matches you've done so far, was this probably your hardest one? And if not, which one was? This is not comparing to the enemy team, this is just generally for your performance on the actual map itself.
I don't know if I could pick one in specific, but I will say like this hold spot this specific hold spot in Tragic Kingdom has been like really, really weird compared to the other ones. The aggro in this lane, like for example, the lane that I was watching and Voodoo was watching inside the tent, they would often aggro on Leg or Medic and Vaughn and Monkey in the back, which is like really weird and it makes it hard for us to hit our shots. So that was like something that was an abnormal challenge we didn't have to deal with in other maps. So like in that way, this one was pretty hard, but I don't know if I would say, I don't know if I could pick one. Maybe Monkey, you could pick one that was the hardest. I can't think of one personally.
I think the hardest thing, it might seem like we have some like strategy we go into with these, and we do, but depending on when you pop into our chat, you can actually find us like on the fly deciding what we want. Because we have like, factors like, maybe if the trader gets here, we'll want it. Mm-hmm. In this last map, we actually got really lucky. We bought wave 3, and we got a trader like right next to us wave 4. So what we did is we just skipped instantly, and we bought, and we got all of our munitions back, all of our grenades, full armor, full ammo, and we didn't even have to do any weird things. And then because of that, wave 6, we bought 3-4. So wave 5. It means we opened up an opportunity where we had just an extra support ammo bag, just like sitting there because we shot.
Yeah.
So that means going into wave 6, we have we have all the ammo we ever want during the wave 5 and more going into wave 6.
Mm-hmm. It also let us play more, I guess, like loose during the wave where that close trader was there. Like for example, Voodoo, if like he would want to freeze something, but normally he would be kind of iffy on it because maybe he wants to save the freeze for later. Well, the trader's like, 15 meters away. We're just going to skip and fill and get everything. So now he can just use those freeze nades whenever he wants because he's going to fill up at the trader, and we're still skipping almost the whole trader time anyway. So stuff like that is stuff it's like calls we have to make on the fly that change how we play.
I guess to more like directly answer your question about like the hardest one we've had yet, I think pretty much all of those will come down to how many traders there are. Zed landing was very easy for us because it had 4 traders, and that's like the sweet spot for us. We love 4 trader maps. But like hostile grounds had like 6, and the chance for RNG is so high. We're fortunate that we got to stay downstairs in hostile grounds, but our boss trader was like
Really bad.
almost unacceptable. We ended up going for it, but it was, yeah, we didn't want to. And I think on this one there were 5 traders, but we got pretty lucky, and I think we picked a spot that was very central. But yeah, I think some of the I think hostile grounds is probably the hardest one in terms of like just getting all the strategies together.
I think individually, like holding it wasn't that bad, but yeah, like all the things that could have gone wrong was probably at its worst in hostile grounds.
And then this map, we actually, I think we had like 3 hold spots that we looked for. The other team we just went up against, that was our first one we wanted. We were going to hold down there, but we found it just had almost no margin for error because we're not running Zerk. And it was really hard to distribute ammo. And so I think this map was difficult in particular just because there were so many choices. You know, you have so many choices and you have to pick the right one for where you're going to stay. I hope that I think I'll have on that.
I think it was
Okay,
so.
that was actually a really good answer because a lot of teams don't, or a lot of people don't actually realize you can use the same strategy with different maps with completely different results. We've seen teams, a lot of people have the chat right now of we need to skip wave 1, we need to skip wave 1. But the teams that have been achieving the using the trader at wave 1 have actually benefited more up to wave 4 than any team has done by skipping the first wave so far, like statistically. But the thing is, after that, after wave 3 or 4, that's when it starts to differ because obviously it depends on trader distance, it depends on what perks you got, it depends on the wave speed, spawning, and all that. So some parts are really crucial, and so far today's matches, I will say, the wave 2 for both your match and the previous match were very, very intense. To the point we almost saw a up to 4-man death. Which
What are you talking about? That wasn't in the picture. It was never an opportunity.
Oh, I'll always stay in it, don't worry.
I've already erased it from my mind. I don't even know what you're talking about.
But it just shows how much difference it can make.
Yeah.
The other question I wanted to ask was actually more specific about the whole training versus actual match. So, a lot of teams have said that the practicing had completely different results to the actual match they played officially. Was this the same case for this one, and what was the difference?
I think for this one we've had some pretty wild practices. We actually did a practice match right before this, and it was pretty much a disaster. Pretty much everything that could go wrong and more went wrong. And I really hope the other teams are getting an opportunity. I've been calling it like the wiggles. It's, you know, anytime you show up for a tournament or anything you have to do good in, you kind of get like the butterflies. For me, it's like my upper chest. And I think having like one practice match beforehand to just get all the wiggles out really helps.
All the stupid stuff, like
Just playing like an idiot.
Yeah, be an idiot like before we actually have to play.
But I think for us, our practice has actually been like really beneficial. I think every time we go in, we have maybe not so much anymore because we have like most of our stuff down that we'd like. But especially in the beginning, we had 1 or 2 goals that we were specifically looking for. You know, like some of them, it's like, how far can we go without skipping the trader? And with skipping the trader, not even going. And so it doesn't matter like how successful we were, how far we got, or how fast we were doing it. We just want to do like nail down 1 goal. And then maybe the next one we choose a different goal. And then as soon as we have all these like, you know, these routes together, we can actually begin to do speedrun testing. And I think just all of our teammates have enough experience that we can make a hold work if we have the foundation and check.
Okay. That's actually I kind of wanted to say that a little earlier. You guys holding this map, and I said it earlier that this map is just kind of a tricky one in general. It's there's not too many good places to hold. The Zeds seem to can come from like almost anywhere, and when they do, they come in force. And you guys really nailed it on this one.
Yeah, I appreciate that. This one was a little wild. I feel like we had a little bit too many of the wiggles even while we were playing, and we were getting like hammered on all sides, pretty much the whole game.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I was gonna say the hold spot is like, especially, it's more so. I said it before. It's more so weird and kind of wacky than it is like extremely difficult in like raw mechanics. Like Volter Manor's the hold spot we played, that one was very, very difficult to just play straight up because the sight lines were so close. Like a large Zed would be on top. As soon as you see the large Zed, it's right on top of you. As this map, you have some range to do it, but the pathing on all of the Zeds is like very odd, and sometimes they are also like directly on top of you, so that makes it weird. Makes it weird comparatively versus just being really hard to hit all of your shots.
The
one I think
unpredictability
was-
essentially of this map was the thing that was causing issues. Essentially, is that what I'm hearing?
Can you say that again? I'm sorry.
The unpredictability essentially was the main difficulty of this map for you. Just how some things that you
Yeah.
expect one way just don't go quite right, and although you have full capacity to deal with it, if you were planning on moving left and suddenly you have to move right, there's that little half second of stutter essentially, right?
Mhm.
I think this one too. I'm trying to think about like all the places we hit. We try to like squeeze the lanes together as much as possible to make sure we're having like all of our teammates working as close together as possible. This is one of the first ones we've done where it was a 3-lane, which means we had K-Man, for example, by himself. And when he had to help another lane, I had to help his lane, and then we had to make sure that my lane was being covered simultaneously, so I'd like have to like grenade my lane I came from, and we'd have to do this huge rotation. And I think that one was a little more complex and something we haven't like practiced a ton. In general, I think this spot is probably just like one of the more tricky ones, just because there's another lane.
True.
Yeah.
Came out and did a whole lot of work though. Popped up on most of the in-game MVPs there. Just surprisingly large amount of damage and heavy Zed kills going on. And we definitely saw some of that motion that you were talking about, having to cover both of those lanes, especially the one that comes from the roller coaster. There were so many Zeds pouring in non-stop. The Firebug was really critical in kind of keeping them at bay along with the support. We were talking a bit about your general player positioning, and we agreed that it seemed like it was the best that you could do with the lines of sight that you had available. And especially when, you know, having your longer range precision-esque classes towards the front of the big top, it let you just kind of peek right out once you were done and wipe out the Zeds that might be taking too long walking around. So I think structurally it was really well done position. I think we've covered a lot there in terms of the general match and placement of people. So let's go ahead and start talking a bit about the boss wave. It was pretty fast. The Patriarch spawned very close to y'all. How was that?
We actually had a plan. You know, this is one of those things where I feel like we run into trouble. You look at like other people's streams and like what happened. We were looking to kind of replicate the boss spawning. The boss spawn on the previous team's map was just so ridiculously close, and we tried to get as close as we could to like even hope of replicating that. And unfortunately we didn't. But thanks to just how the map is laid out, there is like a million boss spawners right next to it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That's something we've been trying to take into account, is just where are the boss spawners. And depending on where you position yourself, you can get like some really bad ones or some decent ones.
Following up on the positioning in a boss wave kind of environment, once the boss did come in, I did notice that there was a bit of an issue with keeping a line of sight on the Patriarch towards the beginning. There wasn't as much damage coming in as I expected. It looked like people were not sure if they wanted to commit to getting behind him or maybe trying to pull him out of the room. What was going on during the conversation there? I feel like there must have been some chatter.
The thing was with that particular spawn is he funnels through that like very small doorway, so it was kind of hard for every player to get line of sight, and without like almost getting yourself killed. Like, for example, Vaughn walked in and he got hit down to like half HP and almost no armor left. So it was like kind of weird. And then he got stumbled into the corner, so it was hard to get a sightline because it's like this tiny room and everyone can't fit in there at the same time. So it was really just the fact that he's in that tiny room that made it so hard to get everyone there right at the beginning. It's just cramped.
Yeah,
To be honest, I think we just fumbled the boss really hard.
We did
If
fumble.
I'm gonna be like really brutally honest, we messed up pretty bad. I think we didn't even intend to fight him in the little room at all.
That's what I felt like. It felt like
He
maybe
kinda
you were
just,
trying
like,
to pull him
squeezed
out.
right through, and then he stumbled. I was just looking at the VOD. He stumbled like back into the corner, and we can't even see him because he's right around the door. Preferably, we would have liked to drag him out
Before
and kill him
unloading,
in a
yeah.
more open area.
And then to like make it worse, at some point later, like Voodoo gets knocked off the platform, and doesn't even have line of sight of Patriarch anymore. And Sharpshooter Railgun is like insanely high boss damage. So once he lost like line of sight, it actually got kind of sketchy. It was just Monkey's right. We fumbled the ball kind of hard on that boss wave compared to other boss waves we've done. But
Definitely.
Really crucial freeze on the Patriarch. And because we unfortunately got our sharpshooter knocked off the edge there, he actually had to just toss his freeze grenades, Hail Mary him down, and thankfully got the freeze, and we
worked
killed
out
him really quick. But
Yeah, that second half, once Patriarch had actually fully extricated himself from that room, it felt more like what I'm used to seeing, where all team members are just firing cleanly into his head, as opposed to some people were shooting, some people were not, some people were trying to reposition themselves. It felt a little risky there, almost. I don't know if it's still a thing, but back in the day, if you touched the Patriarch or locked him in a little too much, he'd just instant heal, and it felt like you were getting kind of close to that with how spread out the team was. But that's a big maybe, because at the end of the day...
There is a mechanic. I don't know, actually. That is interesting you bring that up, because I haven't had it in so long.
Yeah.
I think it's if he bumps into Toop. You say it got removed? Is that what you said, Phil?
It's not been there yet. The only thing they actually did change was that it would do like a 360 melee, and then he will kind of run away with the invisibility.
Well, there is a mechanic, at least
That's
there
a really
was
bad
one, where if he bumped into two players, he would instantly heal.
Yeah.
It was actually a bug that I know of.
I definitely know one of them is a feature.
I'm not
There
sure.
was
I
some
know
code.
he has something built in, or at least has something built in to avoid getting pinned in a wall. And as an older player, and I guess you too has it, it's always on my mind, even if it has been removed. I've been trained to not pin him in there, so it gave me a little bit of a flutter. Would you feel that you had any kind of sense of that as well, or were you just focused in on taking him out now that everyone was able to see him?
I think mostly we just don't care. It sounds kind of like weird to say that, but honestly, the Patriarch is kind of a joke.
I mean, something that you can take
All
down in
these
about
evil
5 seconds.
plans.
It's very true.
Yeah, we really just want to kill him as fast as possible.
Yeah, I've seen before. Maybe I'm insane, but I feel like I have seen before him healing like on the go. But it's so incredibly rare in my experience to see it happen that it's not even something that I consider. And really, the team goal on the boss wave when it's Patriarch is just shoot. Like Monkey's saying, we kind of like just don't care, and it's just we just need to do damage because Patriarch is just so squishy. Like you just kill him before he can do anything.
Yeah. All right, well, I think that kind of covers most of those things, so it's onwards to our favorite segment. Ostracized 2 team members. That's right, MVP time. Let's go ahead and start talking about MVP. We got to pop 2 players off of the match at least. Let's see here. We had Medic once again. As usual, Medic's always helping out. They're either doing some buffing or they're keeping the team alive, especially when things get a little hairy, like it did at the beginning. We have Sharpshooter came in with that, as according to you guys, clutch Hail Mary, cross the position, not even aware. I think, is Voodoo Doll Vaughn on Twitch, potentially? I'm not sure. I believe so. Saying that...
Vaughn's on.
What'd you say?
Vaughn is actually Vaughn on there.
Okay, well, someone on here is saying that they got knocked off and that their freeze was just guessing
Yeah,
where they
Voodoo
went.
Doll was our sharpshooter,
There you
and
go.
he got knocked off, and Hail
I'm
Mary.
confusing everyone. There's V's involved. Okay, forgive me. Voodoo Doll is saying that it was a Hail Mary. Even they didn't even know if that was where the Patriarch was going to go. So I feel like Sharpshooter personally should show. Medic should show. I mean, your gunslinger just did an amazing job with just hopping around. There was a lot of large Zed kills, very quick eliminations. You mentioned how they had to go and support other locations. So I'd say maybe gunslinger and firebug, because in that tight environment, you had a lot of difficulty just kind of making sure that you don't get pushed in from how fast those Zeds are spawning and coming in. So that would be mine. Medic, sharpshooter, firebug, gunslinger. What are your thoughts, Flux?
I'm definitely going to go for sharpshooter for this one. There was the one specific moment you will remember is you went, there's a flesh pound. He has no head. Like, that happened so often. You had a moment, like, I think it was wave 6 or 7, you went, oh, we got flesh pound. And by the time you went to name the first one, the first and second one died.
Ah, yes,
You tried
when
to
all the
name the
freezes were
third and
coming.
fourth, but they died before you can finish off the first word, where you had the fourth, fifth, and sixth behind them, and you couldn't keep up with the amount of time they were trying to kill. That sharpshooter was on point. There was nothing getting close to your team with him in their aim. He did 180s. He was on the head every single time. The freeze grenades, perfect. And he even helped out in the Patriarch wave. But I have no denial for putting it on someone else. Like, for me, I'm fully 100% behind the sharpshooter.
There you have it. What about you, ALovelyTsundere?
Well, we could go, classic chef hat firebug, but I think I've already made that too much of a meme, so I'll take it serious this time. And not like I wasn't taking it serious before, because everyone loved chef hat firebug. But I think I would just go with the gunslinger, just holding down that lane, really doing the work, and really kind of just giving the back of his team.
Definitely. I'm agreeing with all of your points. This is why we're going to have to just put it out to the community, because we don't want to be responsible for the uproar afterwards. How's this, Monkey? What are your thoughts?
On MVP of the game?
Yes.
No pressure.
Tough one.
You don't have to
This game
select
was
anyone.
really weird, and
I
You
can
know,
answer
Voodoo,
for you if you want.
why
you
don't
don't
you
have
just go
one.
first, and I'll think about it.
What do you think about it? I was gonna say, I do want to say Voodoo is an absolutely insane sharpshooter. Voodoo is a complete monster and hits like some of the dumbest shots that I can't even dream of hitting. But I think K-Man as the gunslinger had a very, very important role in this map, specifically holding that solo lane. And if his solo lane were to ever fall, it like spells disaster for the rest of the hold. So I don't necessarily disagree with you, Flux, that Voodoo's sharpshooter was the MVP, but I think I would vote K-Man, because I think that role that K-Man is filling is extremely important, and he's doing it really, really well. And without it, well, obviously everyone's role is important, but I think K-Man's role was especially important in this scenario specifically. So I would say guns.
All right. And then that leaves you, Hazardous.
I stalled enough for you. There you go.
I don't know. It's tough. I think this is kind of the same question I ask like every day when we're practicing. As our captain of our team, I have like a really hard time answering this sort of question, because pretty much every single match, I think like all of our team members are just pulling so much weight, and it shows. Today, this was our fastest time. We got a 17. It's like not even close to any other time. It's not even close to any of our practice times. We just did so well.
Oh.
Even with so many of the little mistakes we made. So honestly, I don't even know if I can really answer that question.
That's fine.
I'm just so proud of our teammates.
You gonna say sooner?
Chef hat firebug. You can always go chef hat firebug.
Well, that firebug's sticking in there. I think we're all pretty much in agreement here. We all kind of understand our points. So we're going to have sharpshooter, medic, firebug, and gunslinger as the MVP. I'm going to put it 3-minute duration, because I really would like to have some poll interaction from you, the viewers. So I'm going to go ahead and activate that. View results. Because I didn't actually save the past one, but I remember I think it was sharpshooter. I'll have to go into the poll later. Whoopsie. Let's see here. MVP poll is active. I'm gonna go ahead and mark that.
Ooh, votes are coming in. Everybody likes votes.
All right. So as we wait for this, it'll be maybe another 2.5 minutes or so. This is the opportunity for the team captain, team members, Hazardous Monkey, and Mr. Phalology in general, to just say whatever it is they might want to say on this, the last match of the day, moving into what may potentially be semifinals and finals. Is that correct, folks?
Yes.
All right, so floor is open to you.
Jeez, I don't know what else to say.
You keep putting
I-
pressure on him, man.
I demand at least twice the amount of time in a match for the interviews every time.
You know what? I'm actually going to do one thing here. We had a request for a Raw, okay? Now, it would be nice to have one more request for one of you two to achieve. And it has to be an animal sound.
And
I don't
that's
know
a
if
big good one.
I don't know if I can.
The first thing for someone to say in the chat, one of these two have to pull it off.
I can't.
Animal
It's
sound,
one monkey. He's the team captain. It's not me.
Oof. Well, I mean,
I
we'll
don't
see.
know.
You have a few moments. I have a slight delay on my stream for emergency ejection, so you might get away with no one noticing.
Oh no, if they don't, I'm putting it down.
Never mind. I tried to give you an out. Let's see here. We're coming in towards the end here. Might be the end of it entirely. I can't tell. I have two of them open. It's really confusing. Go ahead and close one of those. In the meantime, thank you to Staffe Shogun for the follow. Much appreciated. We're going into, I think, a minute and 25 seconds. I'm trying to comprehend this bar. So far, we got 6 votes on Sharpshooter, 3 on Gunslinger, and 1 on Firebug. So it's looking like so far, unless there are some more votes coming in shortly, going to be Sharpshooter MVP for this round. In terms of chat, let's see. Pull off a monkey sound. Monkey, exclamation point, say Siamo.
Depending on where we get in this tournament, you might get some sounds out of me, but I think I'm gonna hold off. I think
You
I'm gonna
sure?
wait for the ultimate prize if we get that far.
Oh, okay.
Can we get
Okay.
can we get another notarized statement here?
So I'm actually going to make a deal with you.
Oh,
If-
boy.
That deal.
If you win, you make the monkey noise. If you lose, we get a second animal's noise that all your team has to pull off.
Dang.
I don't like the word pull off. What kind of noise are you considering? How difficult is it going to be?
How's that?
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I can. I can't speak for my team here, but
We'll send
you'll
out the
definitely
emails.
get some noises out of me by the
I
end.
just
I'm
imagine
sure.
him in chat trying to convince his team to this. Like, what? No, like, what are you guys talking
Team
about?
captain can't commit to freaking making a statement for the team. What is this? What has this world come to? Let's see here. I think I took a... I don't know if I mentioned to y'all what the prediction was. The prediction was whether or not you would skip the boss trader round because you were getting those traders that were so close to you so consistently. I was expecting potentially that you would find yourself with enough ammo to just say, screw this, let's go right into it.
Because of the circumstances in the match we played, we actually really wanted to. On the wave between 6 and 7, we had the trader that's literally right next to us, right across from our hold. And maybe you guys noticed we bought a railgun, like we flooded money into Voodoo to buy an upgraded railgun, and we were going to skip the trader and go into boss. But because Voodoo expended so many freezes during wave 7, because we got really huge spawns, Voodoo only had, I think it was only 2 freezes left. And 2 freezes is enough to freeze Patriarch, but sometimes it doesn't always work out. Like maybe the freeze landed too far, or he was doing an attack or whatever. So because we weren't positive we could get the freeze on Patriarch with only 2 freezes, we actually ended up going to the trader anyway. Because it also happened to be a close trader. So it wasn't even a big deal that we had to go. But yeah, we did actually plan on doing it.
Okay.
Just take our boss, for example. It was pretty bad. If we only went with 2 freeze grenades, we probably would have sucked. But we definitely did try. We planned for it. And I think we spent like the last quarter of wave 7 just talking about whether or not we should skip boss wave altogether. It was a serious consideration. You might see it in the future, depending on the traders.
I'm glad I brought it up then right here at the end, because that was very intriguing little bit of information there. So let's go ahead and finish it up. MVP was Sharpshooter, 55% of the votes, Gunslinger 27%, Medic 9%, Firebug also 9%. So I think that about covers it. Let me go ahead and look through. Let me go ahead and look through chat real quick, see if there's anything else. I don't think there is. So, ooh, what the heck? Timer just started in game. That's weird. Oh, someone's in here. What is going on? All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and transition away before something weird happens. thank you so much for once again taking the time to talk to us, especially for so long after the match had ended. I really do appreciate it. I think everyone else appreciates it. I saw some people in chat mentioning it. First, they were just joking about how long these things tend to go on, but they were also mentioning how very interesting it is to hear your thoughts and the strategies. So I think that about covers it. I will go ahead and take you guys and send you on your way. And thank you once again, and talk later. All likelihood.
Yeah, no
since-
problem.
Thank you for
I'm really
having us.
interested to. I think we're at a really. I think just final note. I think we're kind of at a strange crossroads where there's some tiebreakers to happen in the future.
Yes, I'm gonna go through that in a minute.
Yeah,
Mm.
gonna have
That'll
Flux
be interesting to
explain a
see.
bunch of stuff, which I am
Alright.
not capable of. But my pay grade.
All right. Well, we'll catch you later. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
GG,
Ciao.
guys.
See you guys.
Ooh, took himself out. I didn't even have to drag the second. Dragged himself out of my own hand. All right. Let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and quickly just leave this room because something's going on this server. I don't expect that to happen. And then I'll swap back over so people can see who's talking, and then I'll cede the floor to Flux. I'm just gonna go into a solo offline match real quick so that it is all good and visible.
Yeah, sorry, I
Going
put
on.
the server settings back.
Oh, it's not a problem whatsoever. Just no one needs doing. I'll also leave the music off for now so that you can really talk. Go ahead and ready up here. Enable cheats. Pause the key button. Toggle screenshot modes. All this gunk is on the screen. Awesome. There you go. We're now inside a lovely, lovely sewer with 2 bats that are stuck in the air or something. That's fun. Go ahead and transition back into that. All right, I cede the floor to both you, Flux, and ALovelyTsundere. Any last thoughts before we get into the nitty-gritty overview of the week and what is expected next week?
I would just like to say it's been a pleasure commentating with all of you, and thank you for having me on. The tournament has been so exciting so far, and it's been a great time seeing the meta progress as it's been going on. The teams are just getting better and better. The timers getting lower and lower. And thank you for in chat. And go ahead, Flux. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
So, on that note, I actually want to expand on that a bit. ALovelyTsundere, you actually mentioned meta. And this was actually, I just want to emphasize a little bit more on this one before we go to all the rest. The whole point of the design of this tournament was to remove the meta that everyone was using in the public matches. That meant that this is the reason why Survivalist was banned, because it was a 2-in-1 perk, which means you are multi-rolling without any actual skill being used. Whereas we've been seeing multi-rolling in the tournament itself, and it's worked out great. Spoke with the swap, with the freeze thrower and stuff like that. There's many examples you can go through. Then you've also got the weapons itself that were banned. That was to stop people from achieving the same thing, and actually using the meta itself because they were so strong compared to all the rest of them. There is a few other weapons that I feel might be a little bit too much and almost must-haves at the moment, but that will be a future thing to maybe actually go through, which will be in a later stream when I do a proper overview of the whole tournament. That will be advertised in advance when I got my after the finals, and it'll be like this is what I expect in the future, the pros, the cons. I don't want everyone to be there because I need the feedback so that we can make a better tournament in the future, which is guaranteed, by the way. That is definitely guaranteed. But yeah, back to the meta. If you look at the meta right now, there isn't a single meta at all. And I think everyone's going to agree to that. You look at the teams, everyone's got a different perk layout. They have been going for different perks. They've been doing different strategies. They've been doing wave skips. There is not one single meta being used by everyone at all. And I think that's absolutely amazing. That was why the 2 goals that I had for the tournament, that was actually the second goal, and it has been achieved within the first week. With the second one, the second week now that we're doing now, with the more strategies, that has now hit 100%. There is no guarantee that everyone's going to do the same thing. So I want to say thank you to all players and everything. Just prove that you do not need meta to win and actually achieve what you want to achieve. That's all I really wanted to say for that part.
Very well put. It's true. I mean, I think I'm too far away from my mic now. I'm trying to stand up. It is very true what you're saying. There have been quite a few varieties. I personally haven't seen as many of them because I've been tracking sad swats over so many matches. But whenever I do check in on usually the first and last stream that I see you do of the day, there's a lot of uniqueness, a lot of variety, even on a level that's beyond the meta of weapons and team composition. You see a huge variety in the positioning of teams and where they feel that their skill sets are most capable of working. So I think this tournament, as you mentioned, is really starting to showcase the variety that still exists within the Killing Floor 2 environment as a whole. And it's been really fun to watch and be a part of. So thank you. Flux, you there?
Yeah, man. Sorry, I thought you was continuing.
No, I'm all done. And I think ALovelyTsundere is done, right? Are you good?
Yes, I think I've said everything I wanted to say, and I really appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
it's all on you now, Flux, really, I think, for just the final overview, whatever it is that needs saying, since normally you are the one streaming the final matches, but today I snatched that out from under you. Sorry.
No, it's fine. To be honest, I kind of, when you said about it, I pushed you for it, because to me, it's actually nice to sit back a bit. Especially today, I'm feeling quite exhausted, so I definitely need to get some sleep soon. Let's just say that, and fill myself up with level water. Okay, so what I really wanted to actually go through was actually what's going to happen next week. Now, I wanted to give you a draft of how it's going to go, but I can't give you 100%. This is definitely what's going to go through, because I need to get the captain's advice, and I need to see about availabilities from people. As I've said numerous times, I will not be around next week at all, to be honest, other than tomorrow, which is going to suck big time. Not only from my perspective or my team's perspective, it just means that I'm not going to be able to actually admin or stream at all. So this does actually kind of put pressure on Tsundere and Cruz, which is something I don't want to do. Or at least I want to limit as much as I can, because I don't want to have anyone overdo themselves, especially as I wanted to put the priority on myself. It's just how I go. So in general, the concept that I've kind of gone up with, I wanted to see how the results were going to go today, and that's been the most important part, was actually knowing the results. If I don't know the results, I can't actually act on it. The same as how I couldn't give you any bracket systems until I knew how many teams were actually going through. So the original plan was to actually have the top 4 teams go through to the next stage. Number 3 and 4 will be battling out for the actual 3rd and 4th slot. Then the first the top 2 teams will actually be battling for 1st and 2nd place. Now, unfortunately, with the limitations that we have and how many games that we can stream across the days, I've actually come up with a slightly different plan. I will be going for a best of 3 match on the first 2 slots, and for 3rd place, I'll be giving it to the one with the better stats overall. So going through the actual positions from first to last, we will be having sad swats going through with the win with an ace. They won every single match, so 4 out of 4. Well played for them. Definitely killing it out there. Janitor Jedi Association coming out with 3 wins and 1 loss. But they also ace through it all. They still had no deaths. Then in 3rd place, I'm actually saying that 6 Nuketeers will be taking that place. And they unfortunately will not be playing next week for the 3rd slot, because of the limitations that I can see so far. So 6 Nuketeers will be going through with 1 win, 3 losses, but because they had no deaths. My team after that will be taking 4th place, Foxy Server, with 1 win, 3 losses, but because we had the 1 death, unfortunately, we will actually be going underneath as the 4th place. Now, unfortunately, Badass Basilisk got a very unfortunate last place, all because of 1 match. Sorry, Tsundere, to mention this. They did actually have 1 death, drawing with my team for the actual 4th position. but because they actually did get that team wipe at the end, they actually take out the last place because it does class with the team wipe and the extra 6 deaths on top. So that's a very unfortunate way, but it definitely was a well played from all teams and all players. There is nothing to say that anyone had a bad game or anything, because this is definitely top range and it's a speed run. When it comes to speed runs, there's a higher risk for everything else to go wrong. As we already seen from the first 2 top teams, they actually did say that how many challenges they had, how many times they had to adapt, how many times they had to change all their plans, especially with last minute. So do give them props, especially with the way that's going. With the top 2 teams, like I said, they'll be going through as a best of 3. Now, to keep this as fair as possible, if everything goes to plan, and obviously I want to speak to Cruz and Tsundere and actually confirm everything with them off screen first, we will be doing the best of 3 in a 2-part stage. So this will probably add on an extra week depending on the results. So, Saturday, both teams will have to play 1 match each. On Sunday, they will have to play 1 match each. And depending on the results, so if it's a 2-win for one of the teams, they will automatically be declared the winner. If they go 1-on-1, neck on neck, it will be extended to a 3rd map, which will be happening on the week after. So this will be 2 matches on each day. Now, to stop the actual, to make it even better for results, tomorrow, if I get everything confirmed, I will be telling both teams their boss and their maps they'll be picking tomorrow. So that means they both get a whole week to actually practice the entire situation. Now, obviously, it's going to be a very neck and neck. These 2 are very similar playstyles and all that. Because of this, I also will be having it so that they actually need to try and actually play back to back. So that is 1 hour for one team. The next team will have to play it straight away afterwards. So there is no real time to suddenly change or have this 8-hour advantage, because that will be gone. With the time zone differences with these 2, that should be very easy. But this could have huge results. A whole week's notice, being able to train on this, you never know what's going to happen. We may see some little strategies coming through. I will be speaking to Dragonfly if they can actually keep their server open for these guys to actually train. Unfortunately, there is only 1 server, so you may have to actually book your slots. Once again, obviously, we will have to speak to Dragonfly and see how we can actually get that access for you. As for the bosses, each day will have a different boss, and the maps itself will also be different to what we've already seen. So if it's already been played in the tournament so far, doesn't matter by them or not, it will be removed from the list and we'll be having an all-out brawl on that new map. That's obviously if everything goes to plan. I want to speak to the captains to see if they can actually get that scheduled. I want it to be as close as possible. And if I'm available, I would like to actually jump in to actually, go through with it like I have been here, just supporting in the background. Because I want this finals to be big. Depending on how things go, I did want to do a little fun event, which will actually involve everyone in the Discord. So I will probably do some sort of questionnaire that the first few winners will actually go through in the next event to test out a versus mode, maybe, as a possibility, where I would have 12 people be put into a versus match with the tournament rules, or at least, force level 25 and such, to see how that works. But that's only in theory. Nothing's going to be a promise, so if you have any questions, please make sure you put it through. Cruz and Tsundere, do you have anything you think you might want to add to that, or any questions you think they may need to know?
It's very important to give your feedback, if you have any, on the Fluxus server tournament server, Discord server. Did I say server enough times there? Seriously though, it's very important because we all see this is a community event, and without the community's feedback, besides what we're obviously seeing in the matches and what we're talking to people and whatnot, we can't really correct course if there's something that you see without being aware of it in the first place. So see something, speak up kind of deal. Besides that, in terms of what my thoughts are on the current game plan, I will just keep those to myself and talk about that later, because as you may be aware, and as other people may be aware, my phrase is consistently inconsistent streamer sometimes on my Twitch, so I do not want to give any false expectations, but it's starting to sound like a good idea that overall from what I've heard so far, so I'm interested in talking about it more. I think it's a good baseline to work with, and honestly that's all I'm going to say about it because of my aforementioned predilections, I suppose. I don't know if that's the right word, but yeah, I think that was a very thorough review. And just to kind of recap then, because that did take a moment, if I'm heard correctly, you're saying that Swats and Jedi Association will be vying for first place.
Yes.
And third place was
Six Nuggets.
The 6 Nucketeers have achieved third place. Obviously, we'll make sure that that's all correct by confirming some information after the fact. But if that is true, I guess you heard it here first. Third place, congratulations, 6 Nucketeers. And we'll move on to more information later. Keep all of that accessible on the relevant Discord, and you can find it. Since you found us, you probably know where to find it. I'm sorry to say, once again, it's not on any of my channel's information, but you can find it on the official Killing Floor 2 Discord by searching for any information that Flux has posted, or at other locations, potentially Reddit. Looks like someone might post on Reddit, so someone did do that. Thanks. That's all I have to say.
Now, I do want to actually add... Oh, sorry, yeah, go on, Sundere.
I just want to give another shout out to Dragonfly and their servers. Not only have they been so helpful with like organizing everything, but they've also been lending us their server. And not only that, but I just like to play on their server casually. It's a lot of fun, good people, and the moderators or I'm not exactly sure. The server mods have been really good this entire time.
To actually kind of emphasize on that, from my perspective, Dragonfly and myself have been talking a lot when it comes to the server setups and everything. Unfortunately, we did have 3 people actually drop out from the servers from inactivity and such. I can't say how much I want to say thank you to Dragonfly. I have said it every single time that they've done a change for me. I've had it within 2-3 days where I gave them 6 versions of a mod for the actual server that's running it right now. I felt really bad, but they have been super supportive. They've even given me web admin temporarily for the moment so that they can actually sleep, and I can actually do these changes for the boss and that forum. But I can't thank enough to them, so massive support for those. Also, massive support to Tsundere and Cruz. Honestly, I couldn't have done this on my own. There's no more gratitude I can give to you guys more than what I have, or at least I wish I could. I don't think I can actually do much more than say that. It's honestly been amazing. Obviously, Molly has actually supported me a lot, especially before the tournament even started. She was the original one that actually gave me the idea of actually redoing all this for Killing Floor 2. And she kind of helped get all this kicking off, giving me the allow to sort of advertise on their Discord. So definitely jump on the Killing Floor 2 Discord. You do get some really interesting conversations over there, and especially with betas and stuff as well. So yeah.
Cough. No doubt, good stuff right there. So I think I know which song I'll end things off with here. Been a lengthy day. Everyone's tired, especially you, Flux. It's late.
I can't.
4 a.m.
And we'll all reconvene some other time. So I will apologize in advance for Flux, hopefully if he doesn't mind, or any delays when it comes to stats or other information. Also, a further call out for anyone who's interested in doing data work, because I think he's still looking for some assistance when it comes to the spreadsheet of... Is that correct?
Yes, so I have got one person who's actually messaged me. They wanted to do it during this stream. Unfortunately, I'll be doing it with them tomorrow. I am still looking... That's actually the one thing I did forget to mention. I am still looking for another person to help me out with other stats ideas. I did mention during my stream earlier today, I believe, or yesterday, that I was thinking about doing a spreadsheet for weapons usage. So we can actually see a trend in perks and actual what weapons are being used. And this might actually be able to help out Tripwire. So the whole point would be to say, look, I've got a spreadsheet here for you. Here's the competitive stuff. Do you think you might be able to help us out? So this is kind of an
got
on-the-spot idea, but it's got potential.
Got potential.
Tripwire know of me, and we have had past, like with Killing Floor 1 with the tournament, they have actually added my scoreboard officially to their game, so we kind of got the edge there. Maybe
Okay.
we can actually help improve the game.
So consider that a call out for data analysts or data junkies in general everywhere. If you're interested, you know where to find Flux. Don't ask me, I'm bad at math. That
Speaking
about
of
covers it.
So there is actually 2 more things I am looking for, now that I remember. I am looking for more commentators, because the future stuff obviously
Yes.
may get bigger, and yes, we may have 5 teams now, and we just barely got through it with just me and Cruz being able to be doing a 2-man stream, but obviously these opportunities aren't going to be able to be possible, especially with work and everything, and other people get involved. But imagine if we had 10 teams, it'd be impossible for us to do. So I'm looking for up to 6 more, and I'm not kidding. Like, I'm looking big right now. Even if it's one stream or just jumping on others, please come forward. The other one, I am looking for event organizers. I do have kind of one that was slightly helping me out, trying to plan out specific stuff on here, where my vision already very on point of what I was looking for. We kind of stuck to it. But for future stuff, and we have got the event suggestions already on the Discord, I am looking to pull off some of this stuff. And a little tip and teaser, Forrest, the modder, is also willing to back me up on making other events to actually pull off. So the potential is unlimited. So if you want to help out on that, please come forward anytime.
And just as a side note, in terms of the streamer potentiality or co-commentator, besides doing this entire little event, I've never, as far as I recall, unless I've blacked out once, I have not actually engaged in any proper shoutcasting, commentary, anything of that sort. And as some of you may know, I keep forgetting the names of guns and just calling them by the word shapes. So, I mean, the level of skill necessary isn't necessarily high. It's just, for the most part, are you going to enjoy it yourself? Are you interested? Do you have enough of a base understanding so that you can just say what you see? You know, you don't have to really get into nitty gritty of what the theories are, the concepts, or the max DPS. None of that. Just say what you see, make some comments. You know, it's a fun thing. If you want to just potentially trial it and you're not too sure, you can always just be a co-commentator instead of a streamer as well. I mean, Sundere, do you have any thoughts as someone who's acting in that position?
Oh, we're looking for professionals only. Only the best streamers.
Yeah. Noobs need not
I think,
apply.
yeah. Come on, brother. No, I really enjoyed it. I'm actually trying to pick up maybe a stream to help you guys out a little bit. Maybe next week. Yeah, anybody who's even interested in the slightest, just come on by and co-commentate. Do what you can. No pressure. Just it's a lot, just fun. And I mean, if you like to have fun, why not?
Yep. Really, the only thing we ask is that if you do commit, actually commit. That's about it. You know, if you say you're gonna do something, please do something. Obviously, you know, life happens, and if something comes up, that's more than fair. But at the same time, let us know. You know, it's like your average everyday doctor's appointment. Call ahead 24 hours, preferably. Otherwise, you're gonna get charged. Except we can't charge you. We're just gonna look at you and be like, shoo. So that's about it.
Honestly, the actual okay, so to kind of cut it into a small TDLR, if you want to become a commentator, ask for it. Is there any requirements? No. If you're doing it for views, I'm actually gonna have a bit of a hard time trying to make sure that it works for you, because the way I see it, if you have passion and fun for this, you're all in. You don't need any experience. For all I know, both of these guys had no experience, and they came to me about it. We did a little test run in a little Discord chat that we had, and I just told them, like, these are the kind of rules I expect. This is the expectations I have, and the number one rule is to actually enjoy it and just be truthful. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. If you want to do it, come forward. You got your opportunity, take it.
That's about it.
So that's it. You know, no requirements apart from enjoying yourself.
Brilliantly said. That's honestly final words. That's the best final words I think I could ask for Flux. This whole thing, just enjoy yourself. So I think unless there's something else that you critically need to say, we should cut it there. We've gone for an hour and a half plus now at this point. I think what was it, 17 minutes for the game? So again, I'm bad at math, but I feel like there might be a slight deviation here from the original purpose. But yeah, final chance. If there's any short statements, go for it. Otherwise,
no, I think that'll be it from me.
all right.
I think there's a lot been said already.
A lot has been said. We'll be needing to make some highlights or clips or something of the nature. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. Thank you for taking time to talk. Thank you, ALovelyTsundere, for hanging out. You know, helps, especially when I'm not paying attention or I'm getting more tired like I am now. I miss things, so having that extra pair of eyes is always helpful. Thank you to Flux for stopping by and, of course, running this whole thing. Big shout out to Dragonfly for just everything that Flux previously described. We don't really need to go back into detail. Just want to bookend it here in case people are just skipping around, want to make sure they hear these valuable statements. It looks like you've been answering some questions in chat, so I don't think I need to really respond to them myself. So I think we'll leave it at that. And I'll go ahead and leave this channel. Thanks, guys. See you later. Bye. Cut him off. Sorry, for it's gone too long. We've been here for too long. To you, the viewers, as always, thank you. This is a community-based event. Without viewers and without community players, this would not be possible. So thank you. Thank you to everyone who's been following. Thank you to the people who have been gifting subs and subscribing. It's much appreciated. I do have a personal goal of eventually unlocking a second emote slot, but that's not really relevant. I mean, if it happens, it happens. So to those of you who are maybe helping me get there, cool beans. Thank you. Otherwise, never, always appreciated, never necessary. If you have any feedback, as always, Discord servers are the way to go. Feel free to contact me, but predominantly do it on the Fluxus server, tournament server, Discord server. And I think that's about it. So I'm going to go ahead and play us out with Pounce, because, I mean, why not? This feels right, doesn't it? Look at this dank hole that we're in. I listen to that dank music. Is that the right use of that term? I don't know. I'm too old for this. This has been the Crusader, also as Cruise Control. I'm going to go ahead and quickly read the chat to make sure that nothing is being missed. Otherwise, see you next time. Peace out. Much appreciated. Have an excellent weekend to those of you in the U.S. I think it's Labor Day weekend. Hope you have a good time. Enjoy yourselves. Stay safe out there, everyone. Peace.